Hey there, Christine Mizell here, and I just wanted to spend a few minutes with you today because I wanted to talk to you about something that I think is so important. And I think this is one thing that most people who are just getting started in their web design or SEO business struggle with. And it really can either hinder your success or it can help you depending on what you do with it. And that is why I want to spend some time talking about it. And what I'm talking about is mindset. And these are those positive or negative thoughts that are going around in your head, and they're telling you either what you can or you can't do. And I know a lot of entrepreneurs, we're all constantly out there figuring out, how can I get more clients? How do I get in front of them? How do I get people to want to pay me? And I really believe that the first step is to make sure that you are not in your own way. And what I mean by this is, with all of the things that we're thinking about, all those thoughts that are going on in our head, we are either boosting ourselves up, we're motivating ourselves to get out there, to take action, to believe in ourselves, or we are holding ourselves back and we are actually talking ourselves out of getting clients or out of getting a deal before we even go out there and try to find the client or even speak to a client. And what happens is, the more time that we spend with all of these negative thoughts going on in our mind, the less inspired we become, the less motivated we become. And when this happens, this is where your dreams just start to go away. You start to give up and you start to lose sight of why you wanted this in the first place. And I don't want that to happen. And that is why I want to make sure that you are addressing these thoughts. And like I said, I believe every single one of us has these. I know that I did. I know I've been through all of these myself. And you have to find a way to get past them. You have to find a way to turn them into a positive so that you can start taking action, so that you are out there finding clients and making deals and moving yourself towards where you want to be. So I want to talk about a couple of these thoughts. Now, before I do, I want to give you a little story to think about. So let's say you have a best friend who has been working a full-time job, and you know on the side they have been working on learning some new skills that they are really excited about. They seem to love, they're very passionate about, and they come to you one day and say that they want to start their own business, and they're putting up their website and they're going to start looking for clients, and they really want to make a go of this. And you can just see how excited they are. You can see how passionate they are about this. You can see the motivation. You can hear it in their voice. And after they're done telling you about it, they look at you and they have this excited look on their face, and they're waiting to hear what you're going to say. And you respond by saying, I just don't think you have enough experience. I mean, you didn't even go to college for this. And why would anyone really hire you? I don't think anyone is going to pay you for your services. Now, I feel pretty confident that you would not say that to your best friend. You would not say that to a family member or even a colleague or even someone you only halfway care about. You're not going to say that to them. But yet, those are some of the same things that we tell ourselves. So why are we saying those things to ourselves that we would not dare say to someone else? So when you're doing that, you really need to take a step back and ask what is really going on. So does any of this sound familiar? No one is going to hire me. I don't have enough experience. I'm self-taught. There are other companies that are more qualified out there. They have more experience than I do. I don't quite know enough to get the job done. Or what if I'm speaking to a client and I can't answer all of their questions? Or what if I take on a job and then I don't know what to do? I don't know how to do the whole thing, or I get stuck. Or what if I just mess up after I got the job? What am I going to do? Okay, now these are very, very common thoughts, And I hear these all the time. And like I said, these are some of the same questions I was asking myself. I was saying these same things to myself when I first got started. Now, if you're having any of these thoughts and you know that, that's a good thing because you recognize it. When you can recognize it, then you can address it. And so let's talk about how we can spin some of these thoughts because it's really, really crucial. You're going to help yourself get out there and take more action. You're going to help yourself get more deals and get more clients when you change these thoughts. So if you're thinking, why would anyone hire me? You do need to think about why someone is going to hire you. And one of the things I talk about, and I'm sure you've heard me talk about it before, is that it's very, very important to pick a niche that you want to serve or a particular industry that you want to serve, a particular location. There has to be some way that you narrow down your business so that you can specialize. And when you do that, your competition drops from these millions of other companies and freelancers that are out there to maybe a handful of people. So right there, you've dramatically decreased the amount of competition that you have. So it's made it significantly easier. But oftentimes we're asking ourselves, why would they hire me over these more qualified companies? But how do you know what all these companies have? Why are they more qualified? Do you know about their background? Do you know about how long they've been in business? So sometimes we just overanalyze, we make assumptions that aren't really there. And we also forget that we are ourselves and people are going to hire you because you are you. Because they may not really just jive with that last person, or they may not trust what the other person was saying, or they may have come across really salesy, or you may come across as a person who genuinely cares about that business and they really can feel your passion. They can feel that you want to see those results for them, and that is why they're going to hire you, because you are going to work hard to make it happen. So no one else out there can be you. So when you shrink that competition pool and then you're yourself, you are a real person, you go out there, you make conversations, you get the dialogue going, you show that you care about these businesses, it is going to help people hire you over the next company. And it's very easy to get caught up in this idea of needing so much education. We have to take X number of courses, or we have to have a university degree in order to provide services to clients. Because when we have that piece of paper that says, yes, you are qualified, you studied hard for this, here's your certificate, that somehow makes us more qualified. And I know just even in working with a team of developers and marketers, that just because someone has a degree, it does not make them more qualified. It certainly does not make them better at doing their job. That really comes from that passion within, that drive, that desire to do that. And really, I hire people for potential over all of the experience that they may have. And that's a whole nother topic that I'll save. But my point is that you don't need that formal education. And what I recommend is that you actually work backwards. So if you're feeling this way and you're thinking, I just don't know enough yet, I need to learn X, Y, or Z, I recommend that you start by figuring out who it is that you want to serve. Who specifically, narrow down your market. Who is your ideal client? And when you figure that out, then you can go out and look for what is it that they are going to need. What skills do I need to have to solve their problems? Then you can figure that out and go learn that skill. Okay, because oftentimes we try to learn, okay, I need to learn PHP and ASP and CSS, and I need to learn how to do Facebook ads, and I need to learn how to market on LinkedIn and Google Plus and this and that. And then when you actually narrow down who your client is, you didn't need to know all that. You didn't need to know a lot of that. So start by figuring out who it is that you want to serve and figure out what their biggest struggle is and what type of sites they need. If you're providing web design or if you're providing marketing services, what is most successful for these types of businesses? What is most going to help them? So that's how I recommend that you work backwards a little bit to figure out what it is that you need to know. Put a time frame on it. Figure out what you need to know and by when you're going to learn that so that you can move your business forward. Always have those dates and be working forward. Now, what if you can't answer a client's question? No one always has every answer, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with saying to a client, I'm not sure about that. That's a great question. Let me look into how I could handle that best for you, and then I'll come back to you and present some ideas. How does that sound to you? I've never had a client say no to that or not be eager to hear what I've found. So there's nothing wrong with being able to produce something for a client by having to go back and look it up, research it, figure it out, ask somebody. And without even going there, what if you do know the answer? Oftentimes, we just completely underestimate ourselves. We underestimate how much we really know, how much we've really learned, and more times than not, you are going to know the answer. So what if you do know all the answers? What if you nail that conversation? You do an amazing job. So when you have a potential client in front of you and you know that you're about to have to start talking to them, don't let those negative thoughts start going. What if I can't answer their questions? What if the client says no? Rather, you have to flip that. What if I do great? What if this is an amazing conversation? What if I sell them on this call? And even taking sales out of it, just, you know what? I don't know what is going to happen in this conversation, but I'm going to give them a call. I'm going to send them an email and I'm going to find out. I'm going to see what it is that I can do to best serve them and how I can help them. And just go into it with an open mind and not be so focused on that sale. That sale does not always happen on that very first conversation or email or whatever it may be. So have that open mind. You may do amazing. And there is no way that you are going to know that until you try. And the truth is, these businesses, they need your help. They need someone like you who has a passion for what it is that you do and for their types of businesses. They need someone to help them in their business. And if you are that person and you're holding back just because of some of these thoughts, when you really are going to be great, you're doing a disservice not only to yourself, but to these businesses who need you, where you can really make that impact. So you're going to be out there really impacting these businesses, and you're going to be changing your own life as well. So please don't talk yourself out of getting clients. Don't talk yourself out of getting new deals before you've even had a conversation with the client, before you've even started marketing your services. And remember, you have a community within this portable entrepreneur community. This is why I created this, for you to be able to come in to address these concerns, to ask these questions, or if you're feeling stuck when you're working with a new client or in a project, for you to have a place where you can come and ask for help, because it is always helpful to have a place where you can go ask to get that support when you need it. So you have that support here. So know that, and know that you can always fall back on it. Now in the agency, I talk more about mindset. We make sure that you are not getting in your own way. And regardless whether you are part of that or not, make sure that you are addressing those thoughts. Write them down if you're having them and figure out how you can flip them. Don't hesitate to post in the group if you are having any of these thoughts, because every single person is having them. I guarantee you, if somebody tells you they've never had these thoughts, they're either lying or they just don't realize it yet. So how long we stay in this phase is going to vary by person, certainly, but you have this community to support you. I am happy to help you get through this so you can start taking action, so you can start getting new clients and start getting your business to where you want it to be. So I hope this has been helpful. I really appreciate you taking the time to be here with me, to listen to this. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to post. I'm here to help you any way I can.